Another night, another mic. Yeah, well, if you sit in there, decided to hit play, welcome back. This is Delory Gomes on the Vision Inside. And tonight, it's been an interesting one. Yeah, like I don't realize sometimes, and when eventually at some point, um, I'll have a picture or some shenanigan on this whole podcast window. We're gonna have a tick counter. Yeah, the one that counts how many times I say the word sometimes, and how many times I say the one liner like fill in the blank. Those of you that know me, it's just I've adopted it as a part of the language of the heart, and doing my best to give it away in a manner that is understood, where I'm not here trying to preach to you from any kind of college degree or any kind of spiritual hilltop or religious opinion, right? Like again, I'm just this small town chick from Kauai who ran her life in the ground. That in my heart of hearts, I believe that I finally found my calling, which ultimately is to serve other people. And so I I don't realize sometimes that I need to experience the power of God to know how powerless I truly am. And if you've experienced any kind of I don't know, like stuff like hindsight is always 2020. Yeah, like you've gone through your day and you look back and there are just some dots, right? Like some spiritual connect the dots that you get to do and see how one instance was connected to each other, and if that didn't happen, then this would have never happened. And part of that journey of the 24-hour period, right? And maybe not even 24 hours, maybe it's just a 10 to 12 hour day for most of us, um, which includes work and mom life and dad life and parent life and managing finances and all of those things. Yeah, adulting, to put it lightly, adulting, and just realize like, wow, that was not me who got me through that day. And so I kind of want to visit that, right? And I was thinking about talking about this thing called vitamins. And yes, it is exactly what you thought it is, or what you think it is, or what you perceive to think vitamins are. Yeah, they are that nourishing ingredient, right? It's the sustenance that keeps me healthy. It is the thing that I put inside of my body to keep things away and to keep things flourishing within me. And some of those ingredients feed me physically, some of them feed my soul, some of them feed me spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And the receipts, right? The receipts, which is that day, right? The 10 to 12-hour day, and what I put into me and what that produces outwardly. The heart of giving and a mind of gratitude and a feet that walks in faith. Like so. This morning, this morning I was reading some literature, and I'm one of those people. Yeah, like I'm definitely one of those people that my brain needs to be washed on a daily basis. I am the kind of person where I wake up and I'm so consumed and so self absorbed with what I'm going to do. What am I going to get out of that? Is it 5 o'clock yet? You know? and there are two types of people in the world, right? Those of us who think that way and are absolutely honest about it. And then there's the rest of everybody who thinks that way, but then they lie about thinking that way. So I wake up that way. I do. I am absolutely selfish and self-centered. I am hardwired to think about myself. I have this ego that regenerates every single day. And if I don't nourish my body with the necessary vitamins, I tend to slip back into dishonesty, being dismissive, distant, delusional, and living everywhere else but in reality. So I read this piece of literature today, and it was talking about you know, don't worry about tomorrow's worries. Yeah, like everything that I need for today has been given to me today. And I was like, oh, okay, right on. Like I'm not gonna trip out about tomorrow, and anxiety is just another form of fear, and I just don't want to live that way today. So I took that to heart, and um, I used that as kind of like my guiding principle for today. And if you're sitting there and maybe you're just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and I don't know where to go. I have so much to do. I have all these bills to pay, and everything is piled up, and the kitchen is dirty, and the kids they're just not gonna shut up, and my spouse just won't stop complaining, right? Like I have just this mountain of things, people who not just depend on me, and what am I gonna depend on? You know, when everyone's leaning on me, where's my rock? And so I find that little piece of encouragement uh, in my life, and I use that today. So I head into work, and today is my Monday, and so I head right into this finance meeting, right? And I get to, right? It is a privilege to work at the job that I work at today. I truly believe also in the heart of hearts and deep down in my bones that I was not supposed to have gotten that job. I had I had a record. Yeah, and I didn't come into this other side of being woke stellar, right? Like I didn't come here on a winning streak either. Remember, right? I came from rehab and jail and homelessness, right? Like it took a lot. It took a lot of quote unquote blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of effort and a lot of willingness to have and be grateful for what I have today. So I head into this finance meeting, right? And then sitting there with some a coworker and my leadership team and the finance team. I was sitting there, and I had this voice, right? I had this voice inside my head. Might be the same voice that tells you the same stuff too, right? The BS, right? Like, what are you doing here? You're so not qualified to be sitting in this office. You should know the answers to those questions. Don't ask that question. They might think that you're dumb. They might seem to know something that you don't know, that they're trying to trap you in a corner to point out the fact that you don't know. And I'm sitting there, right? And immediately, I get cuffed to comparison, right? And I'm not comparing myself with you. Like I'm comparing myself with me, and telling myself that I should be or I should know these things, and I should be in a totally different place other than where I was sitting. And it's been proven to me, and I've been on both sides of the coin, right? That comparison is the thief of joy. And I find myself in this mental masturbation, right? I find myself in this circus called my mind, telling myself all these lies. Again, you're not good enough. What are you doing here? You should have called in sick today. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I get asked these questions that I don't have answers for. I don't have the answers for why the money is here in this place that I don't have notes for that I can't justify. And I feel absolutely inadequate. And that's another thing too, right? Inadequacy. Oh my gosh, right? Why can't you? You should be. And if you've had any conversations that start that way, I have had many conversations that have started that way. Deep down inside of me is this fear. Yeah, and I don't like to admit that I'm afraid. I'm almost certain that you don't like to admit that you are afraid. Because if I admit that I'm afraid, then I'm also admitting that I'm inadequate. I'm also admitting that I'm powerless, that I cannot control and manage myself. However, we find that in that bitter, unmanageable place of powerlessness is powerful. I'm sitting there in this finance meeting, and I they start asking the hard questions, right, that I don't have answers to. And it's not just one person from the finance team. Then they all start like piggybacking off of each other. And then I get overwhelmed. I feel my skin start getting flush. And I said, I got to take 5. I walk outside and I grab my water and I come back in and I finish this finance meeting. Right? So we kind of hitting off that nourishing ingredient and the vitamins of my day, and how is that even productive, right, to my work day? That happened this morning, and the most productive thing that came out of that meeting was the ability to sit, the ability to take scrutiny and pressure and critique in real time, and not get defensive with my mouth, and not lash out or be defensive about what they were telling me. And I don't know, like if you work in any business, and I'm certain that some of you do, we understand that finances, money, budgeting, spending, is quite important. Right, and it depends where you work, but down to the last cent, it is important to be accountable and to allocate funds properly. So, excuse me, something that I really learned about that this morning was just being able to sit, and receive, ultimately receive what was being given to me without judgment. And it's not me judging you. Yeah, it's me judging me. And being in that place of comparison, which had already robbed my joy. Already. I was so stuck again in the mental circus by then. I truly didn't know how I was going to pull myself out of this one. And so my day progressively went on, and what is rad? Yeah, like what started to feed my soul. And what I had said in the beginning, right, that sometimes I need to experience the power of God to know how truly powerless I am, and that I am inadequate without something to lean on. I am absolutely powerless and delusional without something or someone to lean on. I cannot do life by myself. I am, again, hardwired to be selfish, self-absorbed, and I need people, right? I need people. So I get to talk to, one friend, and it's not that they were calling me to ask me for help or for advice. They were calling me to share how their day was going. And, it's kind of rad, yeah, like conversating with people and how sometimes there's the ticker going off. Sometimes with conversating with people and them talking to you or me talking to somebody, I kind of forgot what my problems were. And progressively, right? It's a progressive shift. And again, it's that word attitude, as in the attitude of a sale, where there was a little bit of willingness and a little bit of effort in my heart to just turn 2 clicks to the right, 1 click to the right. Maybe it's 3 clicks to the left. Just shift. And I was able to shift just a little bit with that phone call. And for a minute, I had forgotten what my problem was. And my problem is me. My problem is this mind of a circus. Circus of a mind. Works both ways. That is my problem. My mind tells me all kinds of junk. And they are all lies. Every last one is junk. Barbed with fear, delusion, self-pity, and dishonesty. And I get another phone call from a friend, and we're just talking outside, and and she was she's just kind of telling me about her day, and I got to tell her, like we operate so heavily from our heart that sometimes we forget to guard it. And some of us operate with our heart on our sleeve, and I forget to protect my heart. And so when words fly, or my mind starts going a little overtime, and the circus is in town, you don't know how to turn that off. And so I got a couple of those phone calls, and I needed that shift today. I really, really needed that shift today. I got to see some friends tonight, and again, listening to other people, just in conversation and what's going on in their life. I look at theirs and I reflect on my day, and I look back and I see how God's hand was in my life the whole time. That nourishing ingredient, the elixir. Yeah, the part of my being and my soul, and the being and the soul of my kids, the elixir is salt. And I find the most joy, and they do too. They find the most joy as soon as their feet hit the sand, as soon as the salt water brushes across their face, and mine as well. And for a really long time, right? The solution to my problem, which is me, the solution was in alcohol. The solution was in other substances. The solution was in your money, right? The money was never mine. It was always yours, and I would like to spend it. The solution was in sordid people, in sordid places, doing sordid things. And so I find myself, reflecting on the drive home from having conversations with people tonight, and I find myself thinking about, like, what is my elixir today? What is that nourishing ingredient? What is that vitamin that I need just to calm my mind? Just to calm my mind. And it clicked. It absolutely hit me that sometimes I need to experience the power of God to know how powerless I truly am. And today was a clear demonstration of that. My entire day, right up until this very last minute, right up until I hit the stop button, that God my higher power, the God of my understanding, the God of my misunderstanding, the God that you think I should believe in, the minority opinion, the whatever it is for you might be different for me, and whatever it is for me might not even exist in your life today. And that's okay too, because the power of electricity is still a power greater than myself, and it is still something to believe in. That power had tailored my day for that exact reason, to remind me that I cannot do life by myself. I cannot fix my broken mind with my broken mind. And I surely cannot see what I cannot see, which is the truth. You know, it's the truth. And the proof is in the receipts. Yeah, the proof is in the fruit that bears from the tree. You know, from the seeds, right? The seeds that I threw in the ground, the seeds that I continue to cultivate and sow today, the ones of gratitude, the ones of forgiveness, the ones of service and selfless sacrifice. All those things are antidotes to my selfishness and self-centeredness. So here we are. Here we are. Episode 3 of The Vision Inside. Sitting out here in my patio, right? There's no script. There's no special lighting. There's no backdrop. There's no cushy couches. There's no none of that. I'm sitting out here in a patio chair talking to a microphone. I have no idea who this is going to touch, if it's even going to touch anybody. All I know is that if I obey the calling, right, and if that sounds all churchy, preachy, and blah, 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 and oh my God, I'm never listening to that again, that choice is yours. I don't know who this is supposed to reach. And so I obey. I follow what was said to me, the discipline. And we'll talk about discipline on a whole nother day. I sit out here and I press the button and I talk into a microphone. And then I say thank you. Yeah. If no one told you today how proud they are of you, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I hope that circus of a mind that I have, and maybe the circus of a mind that you have had as well, can calm down just enough, so we can get a good night's rest. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Delori Gomes, and this is A Vision Inside.